You guys ready to do some surgery? We're gonna open up one of these and we're gonna make it really small and usable for a Atomos Ninja. So we have the new ANDYCINE Lunchbox. Now, for those of you that don't know what that is, I did a video a while back on their first generation, which allows you to take an external hard drive, one of the Samsung T3 drives, I believe it was, and take the innards out of it and make it a nice little compact device that you could put in the back of your Atomos digital recorder. And today we're going to take a look at the second and the third version. So the second version is another disassembly, which we're going to get into in a second. The third version is simply a nice caddy that you can use here. And so you can see I've got it installed on this Samsung 860 EVO 1TB drive here. And what I like about this is that it's very minimal. And while it doesn't provide any, I guess, additional protection like the plastic caddy would, this is nice and minimal. And I kind of like it. So we're going to be taking apart a drive. I kind of want to take apart the 1TB drive, but at the same time, like, I want 2 terabytes inside of the lunchbox. So we're just going to go for it. And then we're also going to take a look at their reader as well. They have a card reader. So let's go ahead and open this up and pull out the goodies. Inside we have a little booklet that is not instructions. We have a cleaning cloth, which is great. We have like a thermal pad to help dissipate heat. We have the cover, and we have the case itself. So you'll notice there's no electronics in this because it's simply a case that takes the inside of the 2.5-inch solid-state drive and it gives you a new case, essentially. So you can imagine at the inside of this is really just a tiny little module, so there's a lot of wasted space inside of this simply because it's a 2.5-inch drive, which is designed to fit inside of a laptop. All right, so let's go ahead and open up this box here with the 2 terabyte, brand new 2 terabyte Samsung drive in it. You know, I looked through all of my drives, and I have a couple of drives in a computer, and I thought, boy, I sure would love using one that is used and not a brand new drive, but I don't. Here we are. So brand new drive. We've got a little tool that's going to help us get inside of the Samsung drive. So let's just go ahead and dump out our tools here. We've got 4 screws. We've got a little hex key for them. And then we have the tool that's going to help us open up our Samsung drive. Now, you can see there's only 1 screw exposed. There's actually 2 other screws inside. You can see if maybe you could see I tap down right here, and you can see it's pushing down into a screw hole. So I actually have to, like, void the warranty of this drive before even testing it to see if it's any good by cutting away this little spot. And then there's another one right here. Where'd it go? Right here, right around the O of EVO. And so I just kind of have to cut away at those so that I could get the tool down in there. All right. I'll be very careful not to strip these out because this little tool is not the strongest, and it feels like it's already stripping out, and that's unfortunate because I may have to find another tool before I could actually finish this video. So the tool that came with the ANDYCINE, of course, I've got metal all over my fingertip now. It's just not working because the tool is just not that great of a tool. Let's try one more time. The star key tool is a failure, so I will need to find another one and see if I can't make that work. Don't trust the tool that ANDYCINE gave you. It is not good. So what I have here is a Milwaukee very small 1/16 inch 1.5 millimeter flathead screwdriver that actually fits right in here. And so I recommend being very careful if you're going to go this route, but this is having no problem getting the screw out. So we got 1 screw out. We'll go ahead and work on getting one of the others, making sure that's nice and safe and secure in there. If you're watching this video before ordering, you can get yourself a nice little set of screwdrivers like this. This is a flathead screwdriver. It is not a star type of blade, but I will link in the description below to a better option for you, so that way you don't end up having the problems that I have had. So there we go. now we've got the 3 screws loose. And look at all of that wasted space inside of there, because laptop drives are the size that they are. This is awesome. I've never taken one of these apart before. So what you see here is all of the module needed for 2 terabytes of storage, which is crazy that there's just not much on this and that they could fit 2 terabytes of storage on such a small little device. So we can't simply just mount this in place. We need to make sure that we are doing this correctly, and it fits in nicely like this, but then the back end of the plate is what's going to provide kind of a heat sink for this setup. And so we need to take those screws that we just utilized out of the back here, and we need to put them in place inside of this unit. And so I'm going to take the same little screw. That's why we need to be careful to protect them and not use the ANDYCINE tool, which is just going to strip your screws out if you're not careful. And we're going to put the little screws in. I know it's very hard to see here, but we're going to put the little screws in to hold the module in place. And so get one of them started. Don't tighten it down yet. And then I'll get my other 2 screws out, which are still kind of stuck between the back sticker here with the information and the panel itself. So I'm just going to go ahead and push one of these guys through the rest of the way. Get that screw, and we will mount it. So what I'm excited about with this 2nd generation ANDYCINE is that the read and write speeds are going to be even faster on this unit than in the first version of the Lunchbox. And so we just need 2 of the screws. Everything lines up nicely here, as you can see, with the actual input or output. And so we just need to tighten these down. Make sure they're snug. I'm not going to go crazy on these because I don't want to break anything. I'm just going to make sure they are nice and snug. So we'll just get that and tighten it just a little bit. And now we're going to go and utilize the thermal pad, which is going to help dissipate heat off of this, and that heat will be put into the outer frame, which will utilize it as a heat sink. Now, what's great is that if we look inside the Samsung drive here, you can see there's nothing that's helping it dissipate heat. And so this is actually going to help with longevity of your drive, and having this plate on there with the thermal pad is going to help out. Now, the thermal pad is too large to fit in place, so you do need to trim it. And so what I recommend is just kind of lining it up here, and then I'm going to take my knife and just kind of make 2 little score marks right on it. So I've got a score mark there. We'll rotate it around, and I'll make a little score mark on that edge there. And then I can either just cut straight across with a straight edge, or I could use a pair of scissors to do this. All right, so now we're just going to peel one side off, peel the other side off. I cut mine at a little bit of an angle just to make sure I was getting as much of this down as I could. So let's see how straight I could get this put in place. Boom, boom. So you can see it's a little bit of an angle because it is taller up here. I mean, you could really contour cut that if you wanted to and get full coverage all the way. But really it's just the modules that are exposed that need to be touching that thermal paste, because everything else isn't really going to matter. So now that we have that in place, let's go ahead and set the lid on, or the top of the lunchbox. Time to close the lunchbox. We've got the hex head screws and a little hex tool that came with the system as well. We'll go ahead and get these in, which I recommend putting in finger tight until you have all of them in place. So let's just go ahead and get these started. Now, I was always taught when you tighten things down to go in a cross pattern. I don't think it's really going to matter that much here, but I'm going to do it just because it's habit. So we'll start by tightening one down. We'll go across to the other, tighten that one down, then go across, tighten that one down, and then go across and tighten that one down. So this is great. I love the design of this. It's really nice. It minimizes something that took up a lot of space before. Now, what we would utilize to connect this to our computer is either an adapter cable, which is going to be a SATA adapter cable, which I've been using forever. One of them comes with the Atomos device, and then also I've bought other cables for USB-C connection. But what's great is that they came out with their own reader that's very slim and easy and just connects using your regular USB-C cable. And so all I have to do is attach the Lunchbox to the Lunchbox reader like so, and then plug that in USB. Now I'm going to show you a few different configurations for data transfer, and we're going to test transfer speeds and all of that stuff. So the first one we're going to look at is this setup right here with a USB-C cable connected to the computer. The next one we're going to look at is the cable caddy that comes with the Atomos, and we're going to plug that in. It is USB 3.0, and so I'm expecting it to be a little bit slower than probably this reader, but I don't know, we'll see, it might be the same. And then the third is a cable that I've been using for a while, which is this SATA connector to USB-C all in one cable. And so it's very convenient because the cable is already there and the connection's already there. So the Lunchbox is great because it takes up so much space when you slide it into the back of the Atomos digital recorder. It's small, and so we've got air fins here that allow for breathing of the Atomos, and the Lunchbox does not cover that up. The grips right on it make it very easy for you to remove the caddy, the new caddy, from your Atomos. So let's take a look at the adapter that goes on a whole drive and just see what that looks like. So this slides into place, and as you can see, the drive is still going to stick out. It's not going to stick out quite as much as if you had the drive inside of the Atomos plastic caddy that it comes with, but it still does stick out quite a bit, as you can see. Now, this is definitely a much more less evasive maneuver performed on your drives. Like you saw, I had to disassemble a drive, which is voiding warranties and all of that stuff, so I have to hope that everything is going to work out really well. If you don't want to go that route, then go with this adapter that just simply adapts a 2.5-inch drive to the holder here, which goes right inside of the Atomos, which is nice. This is very minimal. As you saw when we took apart the solid-state drive, there's not a whole lot going on inside of there, so I feel like the 2.5-inch enclosure that comes on the hard drive is a good amount of protection anyways. But for me, I like the minimal. I love how small and minimal this is, and I think it protects everything well. I love the fact that I have access to the air vents here, so the Atomos will stay cooler, and all in all, I think it just looks pretty cool. And you can get these drives, these solid-state drives, up to 4 terabytes and put 4 terabytes in there, albeit it's pretty expensive. It actually would be cheaper to buy two 2-terabyte drives and 2 of these caddies and assemble them than it would be to buy 1 caddy and 1 4-terabyte drive. So with that said, I hope that you enjoyed this install process and learned a few things about what you should do if you're going to do this. Definitely it was fun for me. I enjoy stuff like this. And so if you want to pick up one of these for yourself, I've got links down in the description below. Clicking on those links helps support the channel here. It doesn't cost anything to you. It just lets Andycine know that we sent you. And so click on that link and get yourself a Lunchbox. Come back and watch the video, do your install, and let me know how it went down in the comment section below. But like this video with a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel here to get more videos from us on Gear and Light. That's going to do it for today. Take care.